Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports, where we cover Orioles and Ravens news weekly. We're your hosts, Jared and TJ. Well, I guess has been weekly, in the last few weeks, but we're gonna do a little bit of a different format in this video. With the way the Orioles schedule's been panning out, we haven't been able to get the videos out like we have before, but luckily the Orioles are going back to, regular scheduled programming, with its day offs every once in a while, got the All-Star break coming up, so make sure you vote Orioles. They're in phase two of voting already. So, make sure you get Mountcastle in, as a starter. Westberg is a starter for third base. So obviously Mountcastle for first, Ahern for DH, Adley for catchers, Gunner for shortstop. So and Santander as well for outfield. So get our guys into the All-Star game. I want to see six starters out there, So and maybe we get Burns to start the All-Star game,
Yeah.
because he's doing really good this year. So but I don't know how that's gonna shape up. I think that he's gonna get that last start possibly before the All-Star break. I think I saw something like that. So that would kind of suck because that would kind of negate him. Hopefully at least gets to go. So but anyways, like I said, this is gonna be a little bit of a different format of a video here. It's instead of covering one series, we're gonna cover the series we had missed already. At the latter part of June. I think the last series we covered was the Ray series, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna go on from the Brave
Phillies.
series, huh?
We did the
We
Phillies.
no, we didn't do the Phillies. We were
We did.
supposed to do the Phillies, but we're gonna go from the Braves all the way to the Ranger series. So I meant to tell. I probably should have told you this off air, but the Braves video that we did film, it got like corrupted when it like saved, so that's why we're gonna have to do it on
Oh,
here.
okay.
So
Okay.
because I knew we filmed the Braves video, but like I forgot to tell you that it got like all messed up. So we're just gonna cover all that in this video today. So we're just gonna get right started because we got a lot of series to cover. Okay, see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so as you can see, June was filled. I believe we only had like one day off. What the hell? I didn't even notice that. I thought I was like, that's like a 2014 headline for a second. So, anyways, I believe we got up to the Ray series. We covered. So I believe we filmed. Like I said, we filmed the Brave series, but that file got corrupted. In the first game, he went 4-0. Albert Suarez does his job. The bullpen does its job. Offense does just enough. I believe this is the first game that Taylor came back from injury. After Mullins punked him on the head in the Ray series. On that one Sunday game. And he hits a 3-run shot that I mean that's pretty much I wouldn't say this is a game winning home run, but it put us on top
Game
early. I
clincher.
mean, no,
Yeah.
I wasn't even getting clinched. It was like in the third inning. So like
Oh, okay.
it
Yeah.
was just a home run that we never looked back. We took the lead, never looked back. So I believe we had Austin Hayes got like a RBI single after that, and or somebody did. I forgot who it was, but we ultimately win the game 4-0. Like I said, the bullpen shuts the door down on the Braves. The Braves, who they've lost a lot. Cunha, Strider, but they still have a lot of talent on their team. But in game two, the Orioles did wind up winning that game after almost blowing the game. They were winning 2-0 for most of it. This is Cade Povich's first start at Camden Yards. He went six strong, six scoreless innings actually. But Keegan Aiken did Keegan Aiken things, and he gave up a 2-run game tying home run. But Colton Cowser comes off the bench, first pitch swinging, and hits a game winning home run. Well, game clinching home run, I guess. Because it was in the bottom of the eighth. So a clutch at bat from Cowser there. The crowd went crazy with their moves. They always mooing him, when he comes up to plate or makes a play in the field. Clutch at bat from Cowser. And then in the third game of the series, Cole swerving Irvin wasn't swerving strikes. He was swerving meatballs. He didn't really have it in this game. We were losing 4-0 for most of the game. Kyle Stowers
Right.
made it interesting. He had a 3-run shot to make it 4-3, but Ciano Perez did his best Keegan Aiken impression, I guess, and just kind of let the game get out of hand. Wild pitch scores one, and then allows a double off of Matt Olson. Matt Olson hits a double that winds up putting the game away. The Orioles make it a little bit interesting in the bottom of the ninth. They bring up the tying run, but Mountcastle comes in to pitch hit and grounds out the second. So thank you for making me sit and get sunburnt in the freaking, in the hot ass sun. But so I guess we can thank the Orioles for that. So I guess kind of give me your reaction to the Braves series.
I was actually very impressed by what we were able to do. Obviously, we shut them out in the first game. You mentioned how they lost Acuna and Strider, who was one of their best pitchers, but they still got a lot of talent besides that. And so, it was good to just really win this series. This was a series, early on, I thought was going to test us, because I remember the Braves coming in. They were kind of struggling a little bit, but they're
Yeah.
still the Braves. They still have great coaching, great talent. They have a plethora of things that make them a World Series, contender this year. So I was very, I was very happy by the way this series, ended out. Obviously we want to go for the sweep, but when you have them scoreless and then only, allow 2 runs and win the series like that, you did your job. So
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And
great pitching, great hitting, all around.
exactly. Maybe not clutch pitching, from our bullpen, the last 2 games, but shout out to the especially Suarez, Povich, I mean, obviously I'm not going to include Irvin in there because he didn't do good, but Povich making a second career start, your second career start being versus the Braves, versus that really talented lineup, it's hard, and they went 6 scoreless, so. Shout out to him. He's been a good piece for us, and he's had a few good starts. Um, oh, excuse me. In this month of June. So, but we're gonna get on into all of those. And then it got really, really exciting because these next 2 series were probably, some of the most amazing series of the year. Um, a World Series preview, they want to call it, whatever you want to call it, Orioles versus I want to say Orioles versus Braves, Orioles versus Phillies. Me and TJ here actually went to the Thursday game. I'm sorry, the Friday game, which is probably one of the crazier games we've been to, in a while,
Yeah.
Um, I can't think of a lot of crazier games me and you've been to besides, maybe some of the Ravens games, but this game was hype because, like I said, people possibly calling it a World Series preview. 2 of the best teams in each league, Phillies. Really taking advantage of the Braves' struggles and pulling ahead in that division. Obviously the Braves have won the division the last few seasons. They've been the 1 seed or 2 seed for the last few seasons as well, and but the Phillies are, putting it all together early. They seem like a lot of their success came in the second half of the last 2 seasons, and which wound them, which they wound up going to the World Series in 2022 and the NLCS last year. But they're putting it together early, and they're really showing their might early in the season. And the Orioles went toe to toe with them all series, especially that first game. It didn't start off great, because I was like the first pitch of the game. Kyle Schwarber hits a home run. As I'm looking for you, trying to find where our seats are, you know. So
Yeah.
we go down 1-0 early, and then the Orioles strike right back, tie the game at 1. But then Bradish again gives up another home run to make it 2-1, and then it was 2-1 for a majority of the game until Tony Taters hits the game time home run in the ninth. I'm sorry, in the eighth with 2 outs. Believe they said that the guy who came in, like I think it was Matt Strom, like he hadn't given up a run since like April or something like that. Like so to be clutch off of that guy was amazing, and a lot of Phillies fans in that game. A lot of Phillies fans at Camden Yards. Um, I wouldn't say they took over, but they definitely made their presence known in that game, in the whole series, really. But Kimbrel came in, they made it known how they feel about him. Like Phillies fans aren't big fans of Craig Kimbrel. He kind of ruined their chances of a World Series berth last year. I hope he doesn't do that to us this year, because imagine if he blows a few games nails. Yes. Watch him be to the Yankees. But anyways, he comes in, gives up a 1-2-3. But then the game got really exciting because we go to the top of the 10th, the Phillies, I believe they like load the bases or something like that. We get 2 outs, but then he brings in Cieno Perez, who proceeds to give up he didn't give up the game, but like he gave up the lead. But then Santander throws the guy out at home. It was reviewed, they called him out. And then we come up in the bottom of the 10th. And then Westbrook gets hit. I forgot how we got our runners on base, but Mullins eventually gets to third somehow. And I want to say, what was there, like 2 outs in the inning? I think,
Two
yeah, there
outs.
was two.
Yep.
Yeah, there was two
Give
outs
it
in the
two
inning,
outs.
and the ball goes right to the backstop. It goes right past the catcher, right to the backstop, because the Phillies don't have JT Realmuto at the moment. It goes right to the backstop, and I mean, everyone in the stadium is losing their minds because they think, "Oh, Mullins is going to score." He was gone. Like he's like the Flash out there, and he's got like a perfect bounce off the backstop right to the Phillies. Like right to the Phillies catcher's mid, and he dives. Mullins dives, and they call him out the plate. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, the game's over. We're gonna lose. Like that's a sucky way to lose the game. But Mullins makes a fantastic slide in at home plate that eventually, winds up getting overturned. So we wind up tying the game. They wound up getting third out, and then here comes the rain. The rain kind of ruined the momentum of the game. I think if like that game wind up continuing without the rain, it definitely could have been like a game of the year candidate. But the Phillies wind up getting 2 runs off of Jacob Webb in the bottom of the 11th. I'm sorry, the top of the 11th to make it 5-3 and ultimately win that game 5-3. So, um, still kind of mad, even though it's a few weeks later. We lost that game, but you know, that was a great game. That was a fantastic game. So, but in game two, the Orioles get their, I guess you can call it revenge. They wind up winning 6-2. Santander hit 2 home runs. Grayson, pitches, behind off. He went 7 strong innings. The bullpen comes in and shut the door down. I believe Craig pitched this game. It wasn't even a save situation. So he pitched two scoreless innings in 2 games versus the Phillies. So, shout out to him. And the Orioles just kind of, I believe the Phillies started out with a 1-0 or 2-0 lead, but the Orioles just scored. The Orioles were just too much in this game for them. I want to say wasn't Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez pitched the game before. It was, what is his name? It's like Tyon Walker or something like that pitched this game.
John
Um,
Walker, yeah.
yeah, so he pitched this. He didn't really pitch that good for the Phillies. Like I said, Tony Taylor said those 2 home runs and the Orioles just kind of pull away late in the game for that. And then game three, the rubber match of the series, it was supposed to be a great pitching matchup. Zach Wheeler versus Corbin Burns, but Corbin Burns showed why he's one of the best pitchers in the AL, and we really lit up Zach Wheeler. I believe he gave up all the 8 runs in the game. I kind of want to check real quick.
Had
Um,
a beating on him.
yeah, we hit like 4 home runs in this
Good Baltimore
game.
beating.
Rutschman hit one, Henderson hit one, Westbrook hit one, Kaiser hit one. Like that was just it was a beating. Yeah, 8 runs off of Zach Wheeler. So we beat him around this game. We ultimately win the series, and Orioles really flex their power in this game, and I guess even the series in general. They really just yeah yeah they really did. So. Like I said, Santander with the 2 home runs the game before, and the Orioles with the 4 home runs in general in game three. So versus Zach Wheeler, nonetheless. So kind of give me a reaction to the Orioles versus Philly series.
You know, to go back to back against the top dogs in the NL like that and win both series, is truly amazing. And that just goes to show you the Orioles are a top dog now, in the MLB.
Yep.
We deserve to be top three teams up there, because I don't know, like I was scared after game one, after seeing how much of the stadium that the I mean, I almost said Braves too, that the Phillies fans took over. And we even had the Philly fans that sat in front of us, the ones that was getting drunk and all that,
Yeah.
just seeing how much of the stadium that they took over and seeing how good the Phillies were, I was thinking, hold on now, we might lose this series. It's going to be a tough series. I mean, it was just seemed like we were going tit for tat with them with every play. And then just to come out in the second game, establish that good pitching, but also good hitting. And in the final game, just to beat up Zach Wheeler like that and get 12 strikeouts on the Phillies, I mean, that's some real deal stuff right there.
Yep.
Real deal stuff right there. And I'm very proud of what we did in this series. You
Yep.
know, we really showcased that we can do it all.
Yep.
And that's what you want to see. That's what we've been waiting to see from Baltimore baseball, at least me and you, for all our lives. And now we're
Yeah.
finally getting it, and it feels good. So
Yep.
once again, very impressive series outing versus the Braves and Phillies back to back. I mean, you just gotta love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And um, I guess the only bad thing coming out of the series was Kyle Bradish. Kyle Bradish left the Friday game, with some elbow discomfort. Eventually winds up getting Tommy John or scheduled to get Tommy John surgery. So he's going to be out for the rest of the year, unfortunately. So that's now 3 of our starters out with Tommy John surgery. Danny Coulombe's out till September. He got a bone chip removed out of his elbow. Sounds painful. That really sounds painful. Whatever that is. So we really our depth's being tested here. So with Kyle Bradish going down, like I said, so man, that's tough. Losing a guy like that. Now your only reliable arms right now are just Bradish and Rodriguez. I'm sorry, Bradish and Rodriguez. Burns and Rodriguez. So gotta make some moves before the trade deadline. So, anyways, coming off that crazy series versus the Phillies, we get a day off, thank God, but it's not a day off anymore when you're going to New York, because obviously New York, They made the splash move getting Juan Soto the games early in the year when we played them. We won that 4 game set versus them. Me and you actually went to that first game. But it didn't look good at first. The Orioles just kind of seemed like they were getting outmatched by Nestor Cortez the whole all game. The Orioles lose this game 4-2. They make it interesting in the ninth. We were losing 4-0, but Santander hits a 2-run shot to make it 4-2, so we don't get shut out. But just kind of a I don't want to say like poor effort, but just not a great effort from the Orioles in this game. I forgot who pitched this game. I want to say it was Suarez in this game. He just didn't have command. Excuse me, didn't get to 5 innings. Just didn't really look that good in this game. So the Orioles just seemed outmatched all game. And then what was it? I forgot exactly what happened, but we got hit or something like that, and then like we hit Judge by accident in the hand or something. I forgot, and then he like came out of the game or whatever. Like it was just something. Oh yeah, because Soto ran into Westbrook in third base, and then Westbrook had to come out of the game because of injury, and then we hit Judge on the hand, which all Yankees fans on Twitter thought was on purpose. And then he didn't wind up playing game 2 of the series. Game 2 of the series, we wind up winning this game. Garrett Cole makes his return for the Yankees, but it wasn't good enough. As the Orioles win 7-6 in extra innings. Shout out to Dylan Tate for getting that ninth inning save. I'm sorry, that 10th inning save or 10th or 11th inning. I forgot what inning it was, but you know, we were running all over Jose Trevino in this game. Trevino just he's been getting ran over, like crazy. I think the Red Sox still like 9 bases on him on Sunday Night Baseball. Like it was just crazy. But the Orioles they eked this one out. The offense did really good, but the pitching again. I mean, K. Povich is really struggling in this game. Couldn't find his command. Lucky to only, I think he gave him like one hit in the game. But he went only like 4 innings, and that's just not what the bullpen needed. But the Orioles, find a way to get it done, in the extra innings. That's the Orioles staple, it seems like, is finding a way to get it done, even if, the game looks bleak, but then the Orioles just they go to Pound Town, in game 3, whatever you want to call it. 17-5, dominant win. It was just it was an ass beating from the start. It felt like, Luis Gill, came in this game, just was one of the better pitchers in the American League. And, we really just dominated him the whole game, so um I believe he didn't even pitch 3 innings. Like he only pitched like I don't even think he pitched 2 innings. He gave up like 6 runs in the first like 2 innings, and the
He
Orioles
sucked.
offense, right? Exactly, the stanks, So,
Stanky.
right, exactly. So, but again, the pitching didn't help itself out. Cole Irvin didn't get 5. You win the game 17-5. You as a starting pitcher, you got to win that game. Cole Irvin didn't record the win because he didn't go 5 innings. He pitched like crap, and he just such a shame. Anyways, give me your reaction to this Yankee series. Especially the ass beating in game 3.
You know, again, it's like it kind of gives me Phillies series vibes. Like, you know, obviously we're in New York, hostile territory. They have, a good team. We dropped game one. You know, it's hard to go into game two and again in a hostile territory on the road and eke out a win like that. And we did exactly that. And like how you said, we didn't get the best support from our pitching, but it was good to see our hitting, kind of shine and kind of lead us to victory in that game. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because sometimes we're a little bit streaky with the hitting. So it was good to see that in this series we kind of reawakened that. We kind of kept the trend going from the Philly series. And then
right.
in game three, we just let it all out. I mean, it was just beautiful to see. I never would have thought in my lifetime to see us walk in to Yankee Stadium and put up 17 runs. I mean, you honestly, you would have thought Greg Roman was officiating this game and we win 17-5. That's like a Greg Roman Raven score or something like that. But
Yeah, we didn't get the 5 though.
yeah, yeah. But it was great to see, just our bats explode. That's what we're known for. We're like one of the best teams in the league when it comes to hitting home runs. I believe in the month of June we hit like 60 home
Yeah,
runs.
yeah,
We ended up hitting 60 home runs. So just doing what we do at the Yankee Stadium, busting up their pitchers. It's pretty good. It kind of sucks that Cole Irving didn't get the win for this game, and finish this game. Something he needs to really fix, going into All-Star break is really like get back in the lab, man. He's struggling really bad. Me and you, we're gonna get to, but we just went to the Rangers game yesterday. He was awful. He was just
Yeah,
thumbs down bad.
he was awful in that game.
He was just insidious, but I don't know whatever the word is. But you know, he really needs to get back
Is
in
that
the
a movie
lab. But
franchise?
that's what he was. He was just a horror movie. That's what it was. But you know, besides Cole swerving, Irvin swerving off the highway, it was beautiful to see what the Orioles did. To only allow 5 runs too. I mean, the Yankees, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Soto. I mean, I know. Did Judge play in that game? He did. Just to shut those 3 guys out and put up 17 is just incredible. So, I mean, I'm very proud of this series. I really am. I really am
Well,
proud.
I think Cole Stinky Irvin allowed a 3-run shot to freaking Judge, so he wasn't.
Yeah, it
They
should have been
we
17-2.
or say I think it was a 3-run shot or a 2-run shot, whatever it was. It's just Cole Stinky Irvin. That's what we're gonna start calling him. But speaking of stinky, we go on a little bit of a stinky stretch. As we head to,
Ooh,
as head to Houston. Just as you can see a lot of L's there. It's not very Oriole like to see a lot of L. Maybe like 2018 Orioles, but not 2024 Orioles. And
yeah.
yeah, in Houston we had a problem. That was a good one.
That was
Anyways, on my mom's birthday, the Orioles get actually bludgeoned. Well, not really bludgeoned. It felt like that because it was 14 to
yeah,
14 to
to the eighth
3.
inning.
It was
Yeah, to
14
the
to
eighth inning.
3, and then we had like a 7-run like freaking eighth inning, and then we wound up making it 14 to 11. And I mean, you still wind up losing, but that was some crazy fight by the Orioles. Like
Yeah.
they scored 28 runs in 2 games. Like, I mean, if we would have won that game, that'd have been spectacular. But try not to give up 14 runs next time. Grayson, he didn't really pitch terrible, but the defense just looked like terrible. Like they looked like if Rio Ruiz and Hansel Alberto and freaking
DJ Stewart.
yeah, we're out there feeling the balls. Like they just did not look ready for this game at
Yeah.
all. And then it really didn't get any better. Burns pitches game 2 of the series. Um, I believe Burns pitched game 2 of the series, and yeah, he did, and it wasn't much better. He gives up 5 runs in this game. The Orioles only scored the one. We just didn't look good in this game either. No offense, no pitching. And then game 3, it just gets even worse. Albert Suarez gives a batting practice in this game. We wind up just dropping the seat. We get swept. We don't drop the series. We get swept. And like I said, in Houston, we had a problem. We lose the last game 8-1. Kind of gave me a reaction to that really, really crappy Orioles versus Astros series.
I was honestly surprised. I didn't expect us to win, 3 series in a row. I knew at some point we were going to drop one, but to get swept dominantly like this, I mean, it never really felt like our head was in any game this series.
Yeah.
I mean, to allow 14 runs I'm gonna just say it. I mean, Astros, they're still, a household name in MLB, ever since 2017, but they kind of lost their aura a little bit. They kind of lost their mojo, since then. To get dominated like this against them, it kind of felt embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, from putting up 17 on the Yankees to allowing 14 runs and then only scoring two runs combined in the last 2 games. It was embarrassing. Especially when you want to be crowned, one of the best teams in the league. Hopefully this is a learning, experience, kind of in the middle of the season, but I was embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it really sucked, but the Astros, they're starting to seem to turn a corner in the season. They were dreadful to start the year, but they're
Yes,
starting to seem to turn their season around. They're only 3.5 games out of first place now, I think. So they're like 3 or 4 games over 500 now. So like they're really turning the corner, fortunately. But you
they
know,
could be turning that trash can around. That's what they could be doing.
he said it, not me. So
Or those Apple
so
Watches.
that was the Red Sox. But anyways, you know, um, yeah, not a very pleasant sight when the Astros are turning things around. So, That's something to be wary of. But anyways, we're just gonna move right into the Guardian series. The Orioles look to snap their 3 game skid, but they don't. As you can see, we make it a 4 and a 5 game skid. The Orioles in the first game of the series. I want to say we were down like all game. I actually don't remember. I don't remember much of this game actually. Let me look. Um, yeah, so we wound up tying the game. Pretty much right away in the bottom of the third. I actually forgot a lot what happened. Oh yeah, Santander with the sacrifice fly, but then Jose Ramirez, continuing his All-Star campaign, he hits a game-winning home run in the eighth, and the Orioles don't do anything in the bottom of the ninth and wind up losing that game 3-2. So not a lot of not an eventful game one. Game two of the series was a little bit more eventful. I'll give you a guess. Who do you think pitched this game? We lost 10-8. What do you think?
Was it Cole Swerving Irvin?
Yep. So the Orioles had to lead like 2 or 3 times, but he gave it up each time, so Santander has another home run. I believe like we were down like 8-4 and then we made it 8-6. I believe we made it like 8-7, but then like they just pulled away, made it to like 10-7. Cano, crapped the bend this game, so did Irvin, so wasn't a fun game at all. But Orioles looking to get back on track, and they do. In Game 3, they would have lost again. They would have swept 2 series in a row. Thank God they didn't. They win the game 4-2. Cedric Mullins is pretty much the game clincher to make it 3-2, and then O'Hearn hits a kind of a dagger in a way to make it 4-2. Craig Kimbrell gets the save, and we win this game 4-2. So not a great series. But to finish it off on the right note, that continues on to the Rangers series. That's what this is all about, just righting your wrongs, and yeah, especially you just gotta avoid getting swept. I mean, this is real. You can't get swept here, or back-to-back series at that, so shout out to them for at least taking game 3 of the series. So kind of give me a reaction to the Orioles versus Guardians series. Guardians, one of the better teams in the American League.
Once again, I was disappointed in this series as well. We were home against the Guardians, so obviously it kind of sucks, to see them kind of scrap away the first 2 games like that, and just see our pitching sort of continue on the woes from the Astros series. Like
Hmm.
I mentioned when I was talking a couple series back in this video, what's going on with Cole Irving? Why is he starting to sort of lose his command, sort of lose his stuff right now? And I feel like it's a crucial time. I mean, he could be on the hot seat to get traded, because teams look to better themselves during the All-Star break. So I would say that's the biggest question for me going into the All-Star break. What's going on with Cole Swerving Irvin? Why is he swerving so much, so to speak? So
Swerving swerving meatballs.
yeah,
He ain't swerving. He's serving meatballs. Like
yeah.
he ain't even swerving nothing. So like you said, swerving off the highway. So not doing good. So but because we really could have won game 2 of that series. But we could have won that series actually. Because the offense was back and alive. So like I said, thank God we didn't get swept. So anyways, we go right to the Rangers series. The Rangers. We know them. All too well. Obviously they swept us in the ALDS last year. You can say what you want. I still think this series had a little bit of juice to it just because of what happened last year, because the Orioles made it known that they were the better team in this series. So we're going to get right into it. The Orioles just absolutely dominate them in the first game 11-2. Kierstad hit a home run. I believe Kowser hit one. Adley hit one. I think Cedric hit one too. Excuse me. I believe it was Pride Night that night as well, which is kind of funny just because like, I think the Rangers are like the only team without a Pride Night. So like it was just like kind of funny that our Pride Night was with versus a team that doesn't have one. I mean it's Texas, so you're not that surprised, so but I think I had mentioned that early in the year when I was talking about the schedule. But it finally happened. So I just had to bring it up again. But like I said, the Orioles just dominate that game on that Thursday. 11-2. They're showing off their power again, like how you did earlier. But anyways, they didn't show off a lot of power in game two. As they only went 2-1, and I mean, shout out to Suarez, man. He really balled out in this game. Suarez making his case to stay in the rotation. He had a few rough starts in a row between the Yankees and the Astros, but really locked in this game. Only allowed he didn't allow any runs actually. He went 6 strong, and Grayson went 7. Or sorry, Burns. I think it was Burns or Grayson. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Grace. No, it was Burns. I'm sorry. I'm like losing my head. It was Burns in this game. He went 6 strong or 7 strong, I believe. And then Suarez went 6 strong in game 2 of the series. Cano did his best job to try to blow the game, but he didn't wind up doing it. Thank God. He just couldn't find the strike zone. He's another one, swerving Irvin. Serving up meatballs. He actually wasn't serving up anything. He was serving up balls. He was. No Diddy, of course. But he wasn't serving up any strikes. He like walked like 3 guys in a row. Anyways, that Friday game, I'm sorry, that was the Saturday game, the 6-5 win. We got these Hawaiian shirts. We've been wearing them all video. I've been waiting so long to get it to say like, well, yeah, we got these nice shirts.
Yeah.
But this was a great game. K Povich on the mound. It was on national TV on Fox. We were down 2-1 for most of the game, but then Kiersat hits a freaking grand slam and make it 5-2. Um, Bullpen does its best again to try to blow the game, but luckily Craig Kimbrell shuts the door. He made it a little bit interesting in the ninth. He allowed 2 runners to get on. But he allowed the runner to get on second before an out was recorded. So to be able to strand him there at second, that was pretty clutch by him. So I want to see that the rest of the year. This is why there's 2 saves in a row. His first 2 1-run saves. So shout out to Craig Kimbrell. And the Orioles just get. Never believe we pitched that last game.
Oh, swerving Irvin.
we get we the Rangers avoid the sweep. They really pounded us on ESPN. Just
Embarrassing.
what wasn't pretty, wasn't perfect. Wyatt Langford hits for the cycle, so um, not a good outing from anybody. Not Vespi, Crook. I think Tate was the only one who did good. So of course he does good when everybody else shits the bed. So anyways, kind of give me your reaction is this series versus the Rangers in the last series in June overall.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This series did have, juice to it. I feel like, we still were kind of reminiscing over that sweep that we got in the ALDS. And, we wanted to prove a point. And I feel like we did, especially starting out winning 11-2, really just putting the hammer down, asserting, we're at home, just like how we were home last year. We're at home. We're going to beat you. We're the better team, just like how we thought we were last year going into game one, you know, and we did exactly that. And we had some close games, some grinders, game two, winning 2-1, then game three, the one we went to, winning 6-5. We had some close ones and we showed that, we just got a little bit more, than them. So it was a great atmosphere, especially getting these shirts, just seeing all the fans, rally, and just seeing Kerstad hit that grand slam, seeing the stadium go wild, this series really had the thrills that, we wish that we saw back in the ALDS. So,
Yeah,
it was a great series experience. Obviously, game four wasn't pretty, but we got the job done in the first three, so it's okay. Get that
yeah.
series win.
Kierstead, I mean, he looks good, man. He didn't really like do that well in his first stint earlier this year. He got set back down, but he really made a name for himself. That grand slam, he got a standing ovation, a curtain call, whatever you want to call it. Hit that 3-run shot in the first game. He had like 3 hits in the last game in that Sunday game. So him and O'Hearn were the only ones doing something in that Sunday night baseball game. But you know, um, not a pretty last game, but I mean, like you won the series. I mean that like I guess that's all you can ask for. It's hard to sweep 4 game series. We've done it twice already, so and we know how hard that is. That's not easy. So, um, but shout out to our pitchers. They really started to ramp it back up. Because they were really struggling right there. They weren't really getting deep into ball games. They were walking a lot of guys, and shout out to our starters, Burns, Rodriguez. Rodriguez was really the table setter here, negatively and positively, because he started this stretch where our starters just were crapping the bed, and then he started a new stretch where our starters were doing pretty good, besides, obviously the one. So anyways, Kramer's probably making his way back. So Irvin or Suarez might be finding themselves in the bullpen. Um, I think some guys, like Hayes and Arias might be finding their ways out of the door, maybe through trade or through something else, because I mean Miles knocking on the door. I mean, Holiday might get him the shot soon, so who knows what's gonna happen. There's still a lot of season left. I mean, we're halfway through it now. I believe the Thursday game is the halfway point. So the All-Star break's coming up, 2 more weeks left. They, like I said, vote our guys in. I want to see our starter. A lot of our guys starting this year. So anyways, that'll be our June, the tough stretch recap. We're gonna go back to going to series videos after this, because the Orioles finally getting some days off. Start with the Mariners series, heading to the West Coast. Mariners, Oakland, come back home to the last series before the All Star break, or last two series for the All Star break. So a lot of exciting baseball left. A lot of exciting baseball left. The season's only really getting, it's really cutting its full swing, because it's summertime. So anyways, like I said, that'll be a recap of the June series. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to we're gonna go back on our social medias too. So we'll start covering in-game updates on Twitter, start posting lineups and stuff on Instagram. So be on the lookout for those. We're gonna start posting more TikTok videos as well. Obviously me and TJ are gonna head to more games. Don't forget to subscribe to our second channel, Casual Cinema. There's a new movie. The video Zoom cut out on us doing our outro. So just I don't know. That was really dumb. So we had to wait 10 minutes to go back in here just to film our outro. But I think all I had to say was don't forget to check out our second channel, Casual Cinema. There's a movie me and TJ want to go see. It's called Long Legs. I believe it comes out
Very nice.
July 12th, and then Deadpool 3. So those are the two movies we want to go see. Um, the link to our second channel will be in the description below. And we're Birds of Prey Sports, and we're out.
Well.